From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News Today.
Passing along more school closings to you. We're getting more into our newsroom right now. Morgan R2, Eldon R1, Camdenton R3, and Lamont. You are all closed. Spare change needed no more. Paying the meter from your phone.
And the snow continues to move on in across central Missouri this morning. We'll have a look at your forecast and snowfall amounts.
New numbers and lines are drawn for next year's school boundaries. It's a Monday, February 13th, 2012. I'm Megan Murphy.
I'm David Earl.
I'm Eric Aldrich, and really the most significant snow of the season so far, and that continues to move on in right on schedule from west to east this morning. Snowfall is really starting to pick up around a good majority of the area and all or so.
Okay, Eric, we'll see you then.
The lines have been drawn, and tonight they will become permanent.
The Columbia Public School Board will be voting tonight on middle school and high school boundary lines. KOMU 8's Meredith Baldwin is live at the administrative offices where that meeting will take place later tonight. She's got the details. Hi, Meredith.
Good morning, Megan and David. That's right. The Columbia School Board will be voting tonight right here, right at this administrative building behind me. And they'll be deciding on those final district boundary lines for middle and high school students. That committee, the redistricting committee that's been meeting for this, has been meeting since last March. Tonight, they'll make that final decision to make sure that every school has roughly the same amount of children. Here's a look at where those proposed intermediate schools would be. Students attending these schools will be enrolled for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's when the doors of Columbia's third and newest high school, Battle High, will open. Here's a quick look at where the high schools will be located with the addition of Battle. High school students will attend grades 9 through 12. That's a change from this year. There are parents that are worried about the redistricting decisions, but the Columbia Public School Board Vice President says that parents shouldn't be worried about the decision. They'll just have to help their kids make this transition.
So it is imperative that parents help adapt their children to how they learn and grow and meet new friends. And then, of course, the support structures there at the schools.
If you want to attend tonight's meeting, again, it takes place at 6:30 p.m. at this building right behind me, the administrative offices building off of Worley. You can attend the meeting, voice your concerns, your praises about the school board and what it's been doing with the redistricting. Parents will know tonight where their children are attending in the 2013 academic year. Reporting live in Columbia, I'm Meredith Baldwin for KOMU 8 News.
All right, Meredith, thank you very much. Starting today, drivers can pay the meters with their phone or their credit cards. The two multi-space systems on 9th Street between Broadway and Locust Streets are activated and ready to use. The systems will be in place for a 90-day trial period. The test will allow city staff and parking staff to measure the benefit of paying by credit card and phone, as well as the willingness of patrons to go to a multi-space station versus single-space meters. Missouri Republican lawmakers and Democratic Governor Jay Nixon appear headed for a debate over workplace discrimination laws and a requirement to show a photo ID at the polls. Last year, lawmakers passed both measures, but Nixon vetoed them. Now, in a case of legislative deja vu, lawmakers are moving to approve similar bills, while Nixon says he hasn't changed his mind. The House and Senate this past week each approved their own versions of the employment discrimination measure. Nixon says his position on those issues has not changed and that it's important workers are confident they'll be protected against discrimination. Constituent service days are beginning in the 9th District today and running through Thursday. Montgomery, Boone, Audrain, Warren, and St. Charles counties will be hosting their service days today. State Representative Blaine Luetkemeyer announced the service days will take place across 22 counties this week. And a reminder to check our school closing stickers on the screen. The latest school to cancel is Marshall.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Buying flowers for someone other than your significant other. A look at why the first female in your life is coming out of the deal. A-OK.
5:35 is your time here this morning, and a large area of snow continues to work its way on into mid-Missouri this morning. Roads are going to become slick. In fact, already are across parts of western Missouri. We'll talk more about the snow, the time of arrival, and how much snow everyone gets coming up in just a bit.
And there's a live look out over Columbia at 5:35. The very latest on school closings. Morgan R2, Eldon, Camdenton R3, Lamont, and Marshall just into the newsroom. Those schools are canceled today for a snow day. We'll have all of the details on the rest of your winter weather after the break. Welcome back on this Monday morning. Topping your national news, volunteers searched tons of trash south of Seattle looking for any clues in the case of a missing mother. Volunteers and investigators spent most of yesterday sifting through piles of recycled material, hoping to find anything that Josh Powell may have dumped at a recycling center. Investigators got a tip that Powell may have dumped items at the recycling center before killing himself. Powell killed himself and his 2 young sons last week and was a person of interest in the disappearance of Susan Powell, his wife. She vanished in 2009 when the family lived in Utah. A tip from a killer led investigators to what appears to be human remains inside a well just outside San Francisco. Investigators in the sheriff's office think they could potentially find the remains of nearly 20 more people there. An initial search of the area uncovered a portion of skull and other bones. Yesterday, the search yielded more bones, along with shoes, jewelry, and a woman's purse. A map from convicted killer Wesley Sherman's team led investigators to the area. Well, just in case you didn't stay up to watch the Grammy Awards, we have a recap for you this morning. Adele swept the awards. The British singer took home 6 Grammys, including Album, Record, and Song of the Year. Other highlights of the show included a Beach Boys reunion and a Lifetime Award for Glenn Campbell, who sang Rhinestone Cowboy. Multiple performers, including Bruno Mars, dedicated their performances to Whitney Houston. And one last-minute act thrown together for the Grammys, a touching tribute to Whitney Houston. The legendary singer's death has the music community in shock. The star's death nearly 36 hours ago had her 18-year-old daughter hospitalized for stress. The LA Department of the Coroner performed an autopsy but says it will not make a decision on the cause of death until the toxicology results are in, which could take weeks. Whitney Houston was 48 years old.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with meteorologist Eric Aldrich.
5:40 is our time here this morning, and roads are going to be a little slick, mainly just wet right now, but the overpasses and bridges, yeah, those are going to be a little bit more slick, so just take some extra time, slow down as you approach those structures, and I think you'll be okay this morning. The snow has already started to come down from Kirksville to Columbia, back on into the state capitol, and a good majority of the weekend looks very quiet, with temperatures making it back into the 40s, even some 50s by early next week. 5:42 is your time here this morning. David, back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. We have more school closings for you that we have not mentioned on air. They are scrolling in our bar across the top of the screen, so keep an eye on those. And then, of course, KOMU.com for all of the latest on that. Well, believe it or not, 1/3 of men who buy flowers for Valentine's Day aren't sending them to a wife or girlfriends. So who gets them? Well, it turns out that's mom. A ProFlowers survey finds men who've bought flowers for the past 2 years, 1/3 of them for their mother. Most of the rest of them bought them for their wife or significant other or their daughter. The majority of men say the flowers are just a token of their love.
Oh, that's so cute. You gonna send your mom flowers?
I am now.
You better. There's an uptick in spending for tomorrow's holiday. A look at how much, plus some good news for a major U.S. automaker. Here's your CNBC News Now.
5:45 is your time this morning. Roads are going to be super slick this morning. Just allow for extra time and take it slow this morning as the snow continues to come down. We'll have another look at those snowfall amounts and what to expect for the evening commute as well. It's coming up in just a bit.
There's going to be some shakeup in the AP Top 25 released later today. We'll take a look at how far Missouri could climb.
Welcome back, everybody. The debate continues about the future of Columbia public transportation. And tonight, you can voice your opinion on the topic. More on that coming up at the top of the hour.
Okay, Jake, thanks a lot. 5:47 is your time here this morning, and the snow continues to fly a little bit.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Good morning, Mid-Missouri. The Missouri Tigers faced a big home test Saturday against the Baylor Bears. The Tigers beat Baylor and Waco by a point, and the Bears were seeking some revenge. We pick it up in the second half. The college basketball season continues to roll right along. The St. Louis Blues are also on a roll. They beat the San Jose Sharks last night. But the most important thing, and I think Megan's going to agree with me here, David, you may too, St. Louis Cardinals will have pitchers and catchers in camp Saturday. They begin workouts on Sunday.
that it makes me so happy. I've said before, this makes me very, very happy. I'm ready for pitchers and catchers to report because that means spring's around the corner. But right now, we're dealing with school closings. We've got 15 schools closed across the area right now. Check our ticker, check our website, and stay with us because we'll pass them along as we get them.
All right, there's a live look out over Columbia again. School closings on the ticker on your screen, KOMU.com. And Eric will have much more on the winter weather that we're going to face today coming up after this break.
With Battle High School opening in just a year and a half, the Columbia Public School District's working to redraw boundary lines. I'll have the latest for you in just about half an hour.
5:55, it's your time here this morning. We already have the snow out there, and it's going to continue to pick up right on into the afternoon. I think a lot of us will pick up between 1 and 4 inches of snow, lesser amounts off to the west, a little heavier amounts off to the east, Mexico, Columbia, Herman, Boonville, Versailles, Osage Beach, Rolla, Owensville, 2 to 4 inches of snow, I think, through late evening and overnight. The snow's out here, though, for Tuesday, so we jump up to a high of 38 with some sunshine and then rain around here on Wednesday. So the snow that we do get today, I think it's all gone here by late Tuesday into the day on Wednesday. And then we're going to stay quiet for the weekend, or for the rest of this week and for the weekend, as we start to warm slowly into the 40s by Sunday afternoon. But just a very slow go this morning, and then again another slow go later this afternoon. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit.
All right,
okay?
Eric, thank you very much.
Okay.
Authorities this morning are still trying to find the shooter and the circumstances surrounding the Capital City nightclub shooting. The shooting broke out at Club Motivation in Jefferson City early Sunday morning. According to a police report, officers found 9mm shell casings in the parking lot at the scene. No victims came forward at the scene, but a 19-year-old woman was treated for gunshot wounds at St. Mary's Hospital later in the morning from the shooting. The owner was uncooperative with police and didn't give any information about the shooting. Well, there's a new way to go green in Columbia, and it's on your smartphone.
This is great for me because I never have change.
That's right.
I get tickets because I never have change. KOMU 8's Matt Evans shows us how transmissions from the future can help the community.
Meet Ava. She's from the future and is trying to help people change the past.
The first theory that she plugged in just today is reuse. The concept of reusing materials to maximize their potential instead of discarding them when they seem imperfect but are not quite used up.
Reboot is like a scavenger hunt on your phone. Just download the app and sign up. Reboot players will compete for prizes each week and for a grand prize of $1,000 at the end of 10 weeks. Max Smith is one of the leaders of Team Greenola Bars. He says he is excited to spend time with his friends, but believes in the game's cause.
We wanted something that, embodied the mission here of trying to be green and sustainable.
Today, Ava released her first transmission, and Max is already busy with some strategy.
A couple of us are really athletic, so if we're doing anything outdoorsy, we're going to send them kind of in the front lines.
More than 115 people and 28 teams are already signed up for the game, and people who want to join can join anytime during the next 10 weeks. If things go well for Max and the Greenola Bars, they might have a little more green in their pockets. Matt Evans, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
To sign up for Reboot, go to KOMU.com and click on the link to reboot.missouri.com. Gas prices are on the rise and could be getting worse.
A look at the timing of the increase. That's next.
Okay, 5:58 is your time here this morning. The snow is going to continue for a good part of your morning, and that continues into your afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour.
All right, check our ticker, check our website. We've got school closings crawling across the screen. Some of you kiddos get to go back to bed.